I filled up. Yeah, so here in New Zealand, really, really beautiful. Davenport, and looking across the water to the city, skylights, really, really beautiful. And yeah, some concerning news came out today with regarding to the Wallaby selections. Andrew Callaway, the fullback, Wallabies backup, so to speak, is put out due to a tight hamstring. So yeah, the greatest game of all time is looking like it's gonna tilt slightly towards the favor of the All Blacks after this. The rumor is that Jorgensen is going to put a fullback. Um, he's really good under the high ball, but I'm not 100% sure about his kicking game. At this point, I might just put James O'Connor at fullback, but it's a bit of a difficult situation for the Wallabies. Hopefully, it's assessed 1 to 3 weeks. Hopefully, this is just like early. They found out it's quite early, and maybe they can still get him to play, or maybe come off the bench at some point. But it's not a good start for the Wallabies to say the least. And it's one of those things where I'm sure a lot of people will talk about putting Swat Lee at fullback. Again, just like Jorgensen, Swat Lee is very, very good under the high ball. Actually, yeah, he has, you know, talent to be really good under the high ball, but I just don't think he has the kicking game. He kind of panicked a little bit playing the fullback when was given the ball early in the season in Super Rugby. He got a bit better later in the season, but I just not 100% sure about him as a fullback. I still prefer him at outside center. Even with Jorgensen at fullback, I think that yeah, they might have to work O'Connor in there somehow to manage the kicking game out of fullback position. There was talks that Dalgunu was not going to be in the winger. They're going to put Harry Porter on the winger. I really felt like Dalgunu should be one of the wings should Jorgensen get dropped to the fullback. So yeah, lots of shuffling around for the Wallabies, and definitely not a start that at least I'm hoping for the biggest rugby match in the history of rugby. And can't talk too loud because I'm literally in the hotel lobby. So yeah, it is what it is. Really disappointing. Just want to show you guys. I was at the bar and helped out the locals close some lamb. So that was just unbelievably good. And yeah, this is my trip on Instagram. So if you're to check that out. And yeah, obviously you are here not to see my stupid Instagram post, not to listen to me talk about cry about the Wallabies fullback situation. You're here because Dr. Rassi Rasmus has named the team after I actually said he was going to name my video yesterday. So he has announced the team. So it's interesting because Rassi has come out and given a lot of respect to the Pumas, linking them to a similar style of team as the Welsh. Every year, every time the Springboks play the Welsh, the Springboks play the Argentinians, there's the expectation that the Springboks will just blow them out of the park. Because the rankings usually has a big difference within those two sides, but it always turned out to be a very, very close contest between the Welsh and the Springboks and Argentina and the Springboks. And one of the reasons is the style of rugby that the teams play are very, very similar. With the Warren ball that used to be played under Fallon for the um for the for the Welsh. Very similar, sort of like up and under style, forcing penalties and relying on their goal kickers to score points. And Argentina, as we saw playing against the Wallabies, more than happy to take those penalties as soon as they're offered to them. And as a result, um, the Springbok style has traditionally struggled in counteracting their own play. Their own style essentially it gets drawn into like a grindy style of game, and it comes down to very close differences in terms of which way the referee blows the whistle, essentially. And yeah, as a result, these games, despite everybody's expectations based on the world rankings, always turn out to be a lot closer than it is. But there's a big but in what's going to happen this week. Rassi Rasmus has pushed forward with his changes with regards to bringing on the new generation for the selections. this weekend, and it's really really interesting because the the key player that I was looking for is the number 10 position for the Springboks, and they have opted to go with the style that Sasha Fenberg and Gomezulu brings at the 10 jersey. And this tells me that we should be seeing a style that is similar to what we saw against the All Blacks in the second test, rather than what we saw against the Wallabies in the second test. Less kicking, more running, more open style of rugby, and more focusing on transitioning from the goal kicking to more of a try scoring mentality. And that is a mentality I think a lot of the top teams starting to realize, because penalty I talked about this almost every video. The penalty counts that's been given away by the teams today, just not enough at the highest level, just not enough to win your games anymore if you just kick every penalty that's given to them, because the teams just don't give away that many penalties anymore. So you have to find another way to capitalize the opportunities, to maximize the opportunities that are given to you for points, which is you've got to figure out a way to score twice. And I think that Rassie Erasmus is realizing that. And we might see a completely different game plan uh, as opposed to what we'd normally see when Springboks play Argentina. And and we'll have to see what goes down. And is Argentina going to make it? We know the Argentinians can play open style rugby as well, like they did against the Wallabies last year, blowing the Wallabies in record numbers. But are they going to be able to do that against the world reigning defending champions defense? We'll have to wait and see, right? And and if Argentina gives away a lot of penalties, is the Springboks going to go back to the kicking a lot of those? If the numbers starting to stack up to them again, I don't know, but we'll have to wait and see. But it's always intriguing. But I think the key here is that Rassie is looking at a different option here at 10, transitioning, making a permanent transition at 10 away from just relying on the 100 polar style of goal kicking. So the Springboks team was announced, and here are the men that are going to be playing this weekend. Oxenche comes in number 1, Malcolm Marx number 2, Thomas du Toit number 3. This is the same setup against the All Blacks in the starting 3 in the second test. Eben Etzebeth has been called into the start ahead of, I think it was Ahir Snyman started at 4. Definitely wasn't Etzebeth last time against the All Blacks in the second test. Ruan Nokia was here at number 5 against the All Blacks last round. Sia Khaleesi stays as number 6 jersey. Peter Septoy number 7. And Jasper Visa definitely redeemed himself last game after the red card. In returning that trust that Rassie had for him to give him another shot after the red card. Back at number 8, such a good runner. And Kobus Reinach gets caught in at number 9 for the Springboks. And pretty sure he was number 9 against the All Blacks as well in that second test. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Williams was on the bench last time. We got Sasha Fenberg and Gumazulu coming in number 10. He didn't actually play that long against the All Blacks. He was injured quite early in the game, so he will have another chance to show that attacking style that the Rassie has been owning him for. Number 11 is Ethan, not a hooker, and he was also at 11 against the All Blacks in the second test. Number 12, Damien de Allende gets caught in ahead of Andre Esterhuizen. De Allende is almost a second playmaker for the Springboks. Really, really good defensively, in addition to a little bit of kicking game that he brings. Number 13, we've got Keenan Moody, who was number 13 alongside Esterhuizen in the last test. Cheslin Kobe comes in number 14, the Superman, and finally, the greatest Springbok in the history of Springboks. Damien Willemse comes in number 15. Like it did in the last test match. With Apeleta Farsi with a knee injury as well, I think Willemse will be, by default, getting the number 15 jersey for the foreseeable time. On the bench, very similar setup for the Springboks like they did against the All Blacks. Jan Hendrik Wessels, number 17. Bowen, the floor Fenter comes in number 17. That's a difference. They had a different prop. They had what was his name? One of the other props at number 17. They all look the same. All the South African props look exactly the same. Number 18, we got Iwuiko Low. I don't know. Is it Thomas the Toyd, they all look the same. Number 19, Ahia Snyman gets moved down to the bench. Is it a bench last week? Yeah, I can't remember actually. Number 20, Huaga Smith was 20 last week as well. Morne van der Berg comes in number 21. Marty Lobok was on the bench last game, number 22, with Andre Esterhuizen as number 23 cover on the bench for the Springboks. Wait, I think Esterhuizen was on the bench. So who was 13? It was Willemse at 13 last week. Yeah, so Willemse was actually at 13, sorry, 12, and Esterhuizen was on the bench uh, in the previous round. He was off the bench as well. So he was definitely made a huge impact in the second half. So yeah, this is really interesting. See how this is going to go. So it's really clear that Erasmus is looking at Esterhuizen as a really clear like impact player like Parker Smith, right? He's going to be the Parker Smith of the backline. It looks like the way they're pushing Esterhuizen to be. And again, it's interesting that he's moved back to the 5-3, and he's been playing 5-3 for pretty much most of the games this season. And again, maybe he's foreseen the potential, World Rugby banhammer coming up for the 6-2 setup. He's already again one step again ahead of the game, looking at different ways to make impact off the bench in the form of Esterhuizen, who has played at loose forward for the Springboks. So it's really interesting how Rassi looks at these things many steps in advance. So like if next year World Rugby comes out and says, oh, we're going to ban this, limit number forwards on the bench to maximum 5, the Springboks already moved out on from the bomb squad setup anyway. So yeah, just again one step ahead for Erasmus in that regard. Again, you can't say anything but admire the intelligence that Erasmus brings to his team and his setups. Anyway, it's getting late. Thanks for watching, but see you guys potentially tomorrow for the Bledisloe Cup preview. Cheers.